You didn't just harass a waitress, you pushed a dying woman off the edge. I was sitting in a restaurant, expensive, polished, the kind of place where the waiters smile more for your tip than your presence. I sat at a corner table, sipping my drink, watching people come and go like background music. And then I saw her, standing near the entrance, looking around like she didn't quite belong. She walked in with a quiet kind of confidence. Not flashy, not loud, just real. And when she walked past my table, our eyes met. No words, just a glance. But something about it made me pause. Earlier that day, I had picked out a dress. A simple one, nothing extravagant, but something about it had caught my eye. And just as I was admiring it, a voice behind me, calm but firm, said, "Nick, that's my dress." I turned, slightly annoyed, already reaching into my wallet like I always did when I wanted to solve problems with money. "Take it," I said. "Buy yourself anything you want." She looked down at the money I handed her. "Excuse me, sir, but this is too much." Her voice had weight, dignity, and she walked away. Back at the restaurant, I saw her again. She was struggling to carry a tray. I didn't know she worked there, a waitress in a place that didn't deserve someone like her. "Sir," she said, "please help me with this." I didn't even look up. "Yeah, next time, officer," I muttered, sarcastic. She froze for a second, then nodded and walked away. She kept working, balancing plates, delivering food, offering half-hearted smiles to thankless tables. I don't know why I kept picking on her. Maybe I hated the way she looked so calm in a life I thought was beneath her. Maybe I saw something in her I didn't want to admit I didn't have. So every time she passed my table, I had something to say. "Hope they're paying you enough to smile like that." "What's the dress code here? Poverty chic?" "Let me guess. Waiting tables by day, drama school by night?" Each word chipped away at her, but she never lashed out. She just kept serving. Then, toward the end of the night, she brought me my check. Her hands were shaking. I smirked. "Relax, you'll get your tip. You've earned it. Barely." That's when her fingers gave out. The tray crashed to the floor, and so did she. Right there, in front of everyone, she collapsed. No drama, no screams, just silence. The ambulance came fast. I followed, pretending I cared just enough to clear suspicion, not enough to be guilty. When we arrived at the hospital, I stayed in the hallway, arms crossed, like I was the victim of inconvenience. The head nurse resuscitated the lady and asked her what happened. "It wasn't this serious then," the lady explained. Before then, I was trying to explain that it was not my fault. "I didn't touch her," I said to one of the nurses. "This wasn't my fault." Then the door flew open. The head nurse stormed out, mid-50s, sharp voice, no patience for ego. She looked me straight in the eye. "Not your fault," she snapped. "You broke her. That's what you did." I blinked. "Excuse me?" She walked up closer. "Do you even know what she's battling?" "She has advanced myasthenia gravis, a severe autoimmune neuromuscular disease. Stress triggers it. Emotional trauma collapses her immune system. You didn't just harass a waitress, you pushed a dying woman off the edge." My mouth went dry. She wasn't done. She had weeks left, now she has days. Then she paused. Her voice softened, but not her eyes. "You wanted to feel powerful? Congratulations. You just used that power to destroy someone who already had so little left." She turned and walked back into the room. And for the first time in my life, I had no words. Just silence. And guilt. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her hand trembling as she dropped that tray. Her eyes losing focus. Her body hitting the ground like something fragile finally giving in. I returned to the hospital the next day, not to fix anything, I knew I couldn't, but to sit, to wait, to understand. When they let me into her room, she was awake, pale, weak, but breathing. She turned to look at me, and for the first time, I couldn't meet her eyes. "You're back," she said. Not angry, not cold, just tired. I stood there, clutching a small paper bag in my hand. Inside it was the dress, the one we both liked. I had gone back and bought it. I placed it gently on the chair beside her bed. "I was a monster," I said. She smiled, barely. "You were hurting," she whispered. "People in pain pass it on." That broke me. Right there, in a quiet hospital room. She, the one with days left to live, comforted me. The days passed. I visited her daily, brought flowers, books, even a small lamp to make the room feel less like a goodbye. I listened to her stories about her younger brother, her dream of becoming a teacher, her favorite song. She never complained, not once. She smiled like someone who had made peace with the storm. And one day I asked her why. She looked out the window and said, "Because I finally understand. You don't need years to leave a mark. You just need one moment to choose kindness over cruelty. One moment to love instead of judge. One moment to be a light, even if you're fading." She passed quietly 3 days later. The hospital gave me her belongings. Inside a small notebook, she had scribbled a message. "Nick, thank you for seeing me in the end. I hope you see yourself now too. Don't waste your second chance." And now I'm here, standing in front of you. Not as a man who had it all, but as a man who almost lost the only thing that matters, his humanity. So if you're listening, if you're still holding on to hate, to bitterness, to ego, let it go. Don't wait for tragedy to humble you. Don't wait for a hospital room to teach you compassion. Don't be the villain in someone's final chapter. Be the reason someone believes in good again. Be the proof that people can change. Because no matter who you were yesterday, you can wake up today and be better. Not perfect, not a hero, just better. And sometimes that's enough to save someone. And maybe, just maybe, it'll save you too.